Kinfolk. Did you miss me? Man, it's another episode of the Black Owned Podcast. I am your host, the main man with the game plan, and the game plan ain't the same plan. I've been a major figure since baby pictures. Janice's oldest boy, since he is definitely in the building. I got my co-host with me.
Hey, y'all, it's your girl Peaches. Y'all know why I'm here. What's up, Mel?
Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to Mel, man. Mel is on IOW. Make sure y'all got the IOW app, download it, you know what I'm saying, because we're going to start to have the audio version of the Black Owned Podcast on the IOW network app. You can download that on your Apple or your Samsung. I don't even know why people say Android, because it ain't nothing but Samsung. That's all people got. Samsung. So either one.
Operating system.
Either one. You can download it, listen to Mel and Wild Card Mall, you know what I'm saying, talk reckless about LeBron James like they did today. But I'm gonna leave him alone right now. You know what I'm saying? Get to our own house cleaning. Please make sure you like as you're coming on in. Make sure you like and share the broadcast. Also like the Black Owned Podcast on all of the social medias at Black Owned Podcast. That's on Instagram, that's on Facebook, Twitter, everything. Black Owned Podcast. Please make sure y'all follow us there. YouTube, please. YouTube. We still struggling on the YouTube numbers, but we got a surprise for y'all though when it comes to YouTube. I ain't gonna tell you yet because I ain't tell Peaches, but I ain't gonna tell you yet. You know what I'm talking about? But we about to do a little thing.
Oh, really?
We about to do a little thing, you know what I'm saying, on YouTube that you won't get here on the Facebook show. So let's get right to things.
Like he's got that what up though. That's explained a whole lot. You know, that's what Dame from the Ghost in Detroit.
Hey, let me tell you something. You know, Mel is in Detroit right now.
Yeah, he is
acting real Detroit-ish.
Really?
You hear me? Yeah, he been acting like a straight up Detroit thug on the show. You know what I'm saying? Ever since he got back, ever since he been in the house, man. I don't know what's going on. They feed him something. The air is different. You know what I'm saying? Something going on out there. He wilding out. He is wilding out. You know what I'm talking about? It's something about it though.
Quiet though, because you know the Clippers beat the Jazz 8-3-2. You know, I just knew with Kawhi getting hurt. You know, we was back in the game.
Man, look, I thought the Jazz was gonna put their whole foot in these boys.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Paul George out here, you know what I'm talking about, looking like he back in the Pacers uniform when he was wilding out like that against Brian.
Yeah, I mean it's cool though. You know,
it's all right. It's all right. You know what I'm saying.
Humbly. You know, now I ain't gonna wash my hands of them yet, but you know, I might be owing somebody a bottle of liquor, but you know.
Yeah, I ain't really rocking with no Clippers, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really rocking. Hey, let me tell you something though. Guess what? So, I hadn't had Douce. You know what this is? Douce? I hadn't had it yet.
Douce out the motherfucking bottle. You don't remember my birthday?
Bruh. So I had it for the first time last night. I'm not impressed. Not impressed at all. That shit, it tastes like E&J to me.
No, it don't.
I'm telling you, that's what it tastes like to me.
Jerk, no.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't impressed. You know what I'm talking about? That 1738 is still champion in my book. You know what I'm saying? Champion.
Yeah.
Like Jay Black be saying. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, they 1738 still the best yak they got going. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, we got a good show for y'all today or whatever. Like, I'm ready, y'all.
Well, go ahead then.
Oh, I don't get my little intro. I know last week we was out of here.
I know, right? You know what I'm talking about. You know, we apologize, you know, for the last second notice or whatever, you know, but things happen. You know what I'm saying? Life is still real. You know what I mean? So we gotta do what we do. You know what I mean? We ain't have a really dang. Douce tastes like E&J.
No, it don't.
Dang. Douce tastes like E&J, bro.
Hey, Eric said he know you fucking lying.
Hey, look. Douce, hey, E, it tastes like E&J, bro. I mean, y'all can try to, you know what I'm saying? I mean, the bottle look nice.
Yeah.
You might be right, because I don't drink E&J, so I don't know.
Yeah,
no, well, you know what I'm saying? I was a young thugger back in the day, you know what I'm talking about? E&J, Wild Irish Rolls, all types of illicit.
Thunderbird and Kool-Aid.
Yeah, you hear me? All types of illicit drinking activity was going on. Yes. No, damn, I didn't have the XO. It was just a regular Douce. So should I be upgrading to the XO? If I should be upgrading to the XO, let me know so I can get a regular Douce. That's what I'm talking about. I ain't talking about the XO.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So if I need to upgrade, let me know, and I'll try that XO out. All right, but we're gonna go ahead and get into this thing, man. Pop it off with you already know what it is.
Yeah. First off, yeah, speak this picture, y'all. So first off, I want to read this this little thing that happened today with Joe Biden. And he signed the National Independence Day Act, establishing June 19th as a federal holiday. And because it's celebrated, it's the 19th is Saturday. We got the day off tomorrow. Appreciate it. Going forward, gonna do that or whatever. But I was hoping G-Man was on. He's usually on time, but he'll catch up. He's probably working, but he gave me a lot of my content come from him because despite how he sound when he called in, he's a wealth of knowledge, right? So he sent me these two YouTube things with of the Black Leaders of 73, whatever, and it pretty much broke down. It was a paper called the Black Paper on White Racism, and what it was a panel or whatever of Black educated men that were prominent in the communities and stuff, and they sat down and explained it or whatever, right? So the crazy part about it is, did y'all know there is no such thing as a race? It wasn't created by nature, but it was created by man, right? And when you think about it, who benefit from that artificial classification when it was incorporated in today? The white man, right? Okay, and what they were trying to get across was that the impact of racism is misunderstood or whatever. And like we've been saying all this time, like the only people who can tell our story is us or whatever. And racism against blacks can only be described by us as a race. Okay, racism defined is the subordination of a group based on race, right? And to take this for an example, we can use the unions. Remember how they had all these unions back in the day, right? And in order to be part of a union, you had to be invited, right? So who were in the unions? White people. So who they invite? Other white people, right? Yeah. So it's safe to say that racist behavior is both intentional and unintentional, because some people are just following a pattern of racism or slavery. Other people are they unsuspecting. Other people have an agenda and they sticking to it or whatever, right? And to break it down more so, we as a people have never defined our conditions, like the duty standards, etiquette, social etiquettes. Even our names was given to us by the white man, by the white society or whatever, right? We can go in and break it down even farther to kind of go back to, the root of things, Christianity, history, education, and psychotherapy. And how it's been curtailed to fit a narrative or whatever, right?
So there's always going to be a lot of pushback on education, right? And I know that we've kind of been wanting to do something, leaning towards, especially the role of the Christian church, and if they play a role for the betterment or the deterioration of the Black community, right? Yeah. So
I got you. But okay. So racism started with the creation of the New World. Y'all boy, the thug Christopher Columbus and his peoples was started this. It's like the 15th and 16th century of Europe. It was their second rise, right? And what they did, they had to justify what they wanted to do, which was that they was on some Pinky and the Brain shit. They was trying to take over the world or whatever, right? So what happened was, what y'all don't know is in 1455, the Pope, he issued a paper bulletin or whatever, because it was an argument against between Portugal and Spain. And what he told them was they was both authorized to reduce servitude of all infidel people. Now, when you see infidel people, it was people that was like either non-white or non-European or whatever. So That was the basis. That thing right there established the basis for racism, and it set it up going forward for the colonialism of United States.
Right.
You know, shit deep or whatever, right? Now, everybody know that thing that when you read the history of the world and all that, and history of America, they speak about that myth, which is a myth. It was an argument of whether the world was flat or round, and that's why they say Christopher Columbus set sail. However, he didn't give a fuck. He felt that, you know, they had enough guns and they had educated themselves enough to the point where whether it was flat or round, they was taking over that motherfucker. And that was it. You know? So it just was racism was created to justify their ruthlessness or whatever, you know, it set the standard or whatever. Then, you know, when you think about it, they have control of us in so many avenues or whatever. They control Black education. You know, these people, they incapable of relating to the culture of the people. Not only that, but as we can see over the years with George Floyd and, you know, even the things that's going on now all the way back or whatever, they don't, most of them don't even respect us as a people or whatever yet. When you look at a school board, from the incorporation of the school board and everything else, even in communities where, you know, the majority of the people with 55% or greater were Black, you know, out of a board member, it probably would be one Hispanic, one Black. Everybody else was white. And these are the people who made the people who made the rules and established the foundation of our education. You know, and that's where it is or whatever, you know. And then the thing with education is, even up to today, it still is organized like racism don't exist. You know, it has been no shift in power in the schools and no effective change. And it's no recognition of the politics behind education. You know, we just cut, you know. So, and we can keep going back or whatever. Look, you know, the church. I don't want to say the church. I'm gonna say the white Christian church, right? To be honest, it's absurd, and there's no scientific backing to justify anything that they're portraying. No scientific fact to make the white race inferior, but because, you know, that was a major method or whatever in a community, that was a focal point where they used to kind of reverse the roles or whatever, right? And when you think about it, the churches or whatever that's in the community that your mom and your grandmama giving her Social Security check for, too, that ain't even what we about or whatever. That ain't nothing. It's just that church is put in place to serve the people who made it, which is the white people. You know, a lot of us don't know that. You know, when you see them pictures back in the day of the slaves on the plantations, right? Did y'all know that them outfits that they had on, you know, they master would buy them one good outfit for church? Mm-hmm. You know, got to make it make sense here. Right. You know, but what a lot of us don't know, because, you know, we signed it off as a white man because of the image that has been portrayed, but Christianity is an African religion or whatever. If y'all don't know, Israel went into Egypt with 70 people, and 750 years later, they came out with 700 million. Mm-hmm. Well, 7 million, right? You know. Yeah. So biblical Israel was an African nation, and it derived from Africa, and it still kept its ties. You know, that's a lot of the time when y'all look at these holy wars, it's bigger than Nino Brown. You know, and of course, y'all know when you think about Jesus was a Black Messiah, right? Yeah, okay. So, and another thing that they don't do, like whatever, like when we think about Malcolm X versus Martin Luther King, you know, that peaceful protest and all that. Jesus was a revolutionary Messiah or whatever, and he was trying to revolt. He was leading Black people against the revolt of their oppressor, the Europeans. You know, it's crazy what they into or whatever. Right. So, I just feel like in order for us to advance that role that the church has played they need to separate themselves or whatever and fight for the liberation of Black people. They's taking all our money anyway. But then again, if they feel like they rebelling, they're gonna be taxed. And because of the meaning behind the church has been lost, of course money talk, bullshit walk. So we gonna say good luck with that, right?
Indeed.
Okay, so we want to know, like, now everywhere we go, we see this image of the white Jesus or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what we don't know is the first image of a church was the Black Madonna. And it was prominent all throughout Europe and everywhere, until the 16th century or whatever. So we still keep asking ourselves, what did this blonde hair, blue eye guy come from? Well, let me tell y'all seen, what was it? Judas and the Black Messiah that was on TV, right?
Yeah.
Them motherfuckers been around since the incorporation of us, right? So we had a Paul. Y'all remember Paul? He was an Uncle Tom or whatever. And what's crazy is the Jews hold this white Jesus in high regard. Like they symbolize that, they pressure it, but it's a reason behind that too. Or whatever. And just to say, white people just they didn't colonize. When we think about the big picture, they didn't just colonize the United States. They colonized everything to fit their narrative, education, religion, and everything.
Right.
So we had the Apostle Paul, a motherfucking Judas, but he betrayed us, right? He was an Uncle Tom Black Jew, and he wanted to identify with the Gentile world or whatever. So while he was claiming himself to be a Pharisees, he also prided himself in having Roman citizenship. So because Jesus was he was revolting or whatever, he couldn't sell that to them or whatever. And if y'all don't know who he is, he wrote the epistles in the New Testament. That was Paul, right? The stuff that our mom and them, shit, right?
Right.
Okay, so what he did, so to kind of fit the narrative and to get the other people on board, he took this the symbol of Jesus on the cross, and he related it to the Romans and the Greeks. So that's how it derived, whatever. So they can destroy. So what he really did, wanted to make it compatible for everybody, so that he can for his agenda and identify as Uncle Trevor. I'm just calling him Uncle Trevor because that's who he was, or whatever. And when you think about it, it kind of makes sense. Like, everything was stolen. When you think about it, what did the white man invent? He stole everything. They stole everything, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
except debauchery and killing,
yeah,
looting and raping.
Yeah, they did that too. Oh yeah, no, they was heathens or whatever. That was part of their culture.
Right.
I'm gonna get to that part too, or whatever. So what y'all don't know is from the 14th to the 16th century or whatever, when the Catholics did all that stuff and they paid to have those Jesuses painted and declare white people inferior. So that's how we see that white man with the blonde hair as Jesus, because it was something that the Catholic Church painted. Now, mind you, United States hold that Catholic Church as at a high regard. Ain't nothing move if the Pope don't say it move.
Right.
Now this is the people who running our country or whatever, right? But what's crazy about everything is about the Jews. Do y'all know that the white Jews have no bloodline connection to the biblical the Jews in the Bible?
Proven. That's been scientifically proven.
Yeah, what they were converted from to Judaism in Russia and Europe or whatever, right? However, what they did was, like I said, they called the Zion Jews, the white Jews. So what they did was they stole the claim to Judaism, and just like they did everything else. So now when you picture Jews, you picture the dark hair, the thing with the nose, but
with the little curly Jones.
Yeah, but the gag is that white Jesus that they praying don't got none of their features either.
Nope.
Make it make sense, We can go to that, and then we can even indulge further into like how we're being made to fit an agenda or whatever, like sociology, psychology. Neither one of them are sciences. You can get a degree in science for them or whatever, but it's nothing to back the theories or anything. Number one. Number two, it's nothing more than them making us cookie cutter. So, if you don't believe in killing, if you don't believe in, excelling your race, if you move culturally different from what the white man say is a standard, you consider crazy. So of course now these are the people that don't relate to us culturally. So them DSM-5s and all them books that they use to diagnose us or whatever, it's not based on us as a people in our background. It's based on
facts.
Exactly right. What the Europeans say that they say we're supposed to behave, how they say we're supposed to act, how we're supposed to be educated and everything else or whatever, right? But what we got to realize, like all of this shit was put in place or whatever, to establish them as the dominant race or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So, just like if you think about it with the prison system, right? What the fuck they got to do with rehabilitation?
Nothing.
The courts. What do they got to do with justice for us anyway?
Nothing.
These systems and stuff that we're falling under and we're falling in line to are all used just for the whites to advance themselves. So through all of these systems or whatever, this is how. But my thing is, from our perspective, is do you blame them? How many years it took? 100,000 years for the white man to change his role and become superior. So, anything that they do is gonna be to stamp that, and it starts all from our children. Like I always say, this shit starts in kindergarten. When your kids go to kindergarten, the stuff that they read, like I said, the land is flat, who Christopher Columbus is, the savior of America. They ain't found America. This shit was already here, They train our kids, they brainwash our kids to fit the narrative to hate themselves. And that's how I feel. So that's the reason why I try to educate my children. Of course, like you say, in order to play even if you cheat, you got to know how to play the game, right? Yeah. So while that's prominent or whatever, and that's important, I still have to teach my children, what's right, and to look at the bigger picture and to look at the facts, as far as if it makes sense, like scientifically. We get to about the mad scientists and the Caucasus Mountains and stuff. Them the people who we following. And
so just like what was it? What they call it in Europe? The Dark Ages.
Yeah.
And they just skip over it. They just call it the Dark Ages, but really that was a whole period of time where the Moors ruled in Europe. You know what I'm saying? And took them out of those caves and showed them, all of the things, the etiquettes on how to handle and operate in a society or whatnot. But they just skip over it and just call it the Dark Ages.
Okay, so my thing is this, like I said, some people are brought up in racism unknowingly. It's just something that they was taught. So if, this is why it's important for us to teach our own children. This is why it's important for us to be on them school boards. I don't know if it was you or Dame that was telling me about, they wanted to do the Black history, African American history class, and the white people.
Critical race theory.
Yeah, and they it was an uproar, and they never.
Still is.
Yeah, and it wasn't. It's not being pushed. Some things we need to look at as a person, as a people, and as ourselves. And
I think it's 9 out of 10 times if you just sit back and ask yourself a question. You know what I'm saying? Just you don't even have to try to get too deep, with it or whatever. Because some people don't want to face the fact that the system is not designed. It was not designed with us in mind. And I was telling my wife last week, anything that has to do with people that are not white males in the Constitution is an amendment. That means it got added on after the fact.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So when we start thinking about things like the critical race theory and how people are all up in arms, it's because it's going to tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? Until America as a whole recognizes, how we got here, and the significance that our people played in us getting here, then that we'll never be a unified, front. If they do all of these things, like they give us Juneteenth to say, it's a federal holiday, which is cool.
Point. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which is cool, but then at the same time, I'm like, what does that really do? You know what I'm saying? Why are we not having a reparations conversation? Why are we not talking about that?
That was not promised to us. That's why they not having a reparations conversation. Because when they made these constitutions and everything, that wasn't for us. That was for the advancement of the white people. So why do they feel like they got to pay you when you was brought over here to go to work? The only difference is, technology and inventions came. So the black backbone and them migrant workers, them immigrant workers and them sharecroppers, they wasn't needed as much. They found machines to replace them. Had that not have happened,
Yeah, but here's the thing. And this is just me using the same system that they put together against them. Right now, if you were if you were made to work for free, but against your will for years, hundreds, we'll just say 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Somebody personally was, stolen and made to work for 20, and then it got found out, and the person who stole them was brought to the justice system. The justice system's point is to make whole the victim. You know what I'm saying? And what we have to, all we want is to be made whole. Who knows what that is?
Victim. I just said the justice system and prisons ain't got nothing to do with justice and rehabilitation. Right. It's for the advancement of white people. The reality of it is no white man want to be black in America.
That's a fact.
One.
That's a fact.
What advantage do you have being a black man?
None.
So, why would we do that? Why would they teach their children something that can reverse their role in society?
Now we talking. So, because racism just isn't some fairy dust that falls down on people. Racism is a taught behavior.
Yeah.
Right. And just like what is the lady's name? Jane Elliott. Jane Elliott said, if you are a white male or female in the United States of America and you were taught here from young to college, you are basically taught to be racist. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you are in a superior, position. But then at the same time, you still have to understand that there are some people who are really literally teaching, their kids, hey, black people ain't nothing but this and that, blah, 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 this, that, and the other.
Yeah, they literally doing that or whatever. And then when our kids and their kids go to school and they open up them history books, it stamps it.
Right.
Oh, mama was right.
Right.
Like I said, there's been no change in the system. So whether these, a white person might not want us in their community or whatever. So, however, they still going to have a place and a role to control the dialogue and the narrative of the minority education.
Right.
And they can separate and still control. And until these history books and everything get rewritten, you're not gonna get the bigger picture, But like I said, we have these new millenniums, Generation Z, whatever they call it. They digging or whatever, and that's why they, some of them have changed courses or whatever, and are no longer Republican. They changed to Democrat or whatever. But if you look at it, even that, and looking at the political system back in the day, the Democrats was the ones who was the racists. That the
right.
Democrats were the ones that burnt down them black communities and stuff like that. So the roles have changed. And it's more so like a sword fight. Only thing is, We got a sword. They got a gun. They got a bazooka. Remember them from back in the day?
Yeah, facts. Yeah, facts. But and what we gonna do? And so the thing is, when it comes to division and whatever seed was implanted into us as a people, it is working, right? Because look, even if you talk about racism, even amongst ourselves, there's still colorism.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We still look at, people hold light skinned people in a high regard and dark skinned people and be like, you know what I'm saying? And we do that amongst ourselves.
Yeah, thick red bone, like
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. So, and then when you talk about the politics, Democrat or Republican, neither one of them for us. Until we have our own political party that's strictly for us, then we just going to be kind of stuck in the middle of like, all right, well, who, you know what I'm saying? Who lies do I believe, you know what I'm saying, the most, or like they say, the lesser of two evils, even though I hate that, you know what I'm saying, statement, but at the same time.
Back to the thing, the organization that's prominent enough to lead this revolt, I don't even want to call it revolt because I don't want them to come and I end up in the river tomorrow. But the church, that's the only thing, when you think about it, all of these women, we control a lot of shit as a woman. And guess where they leading from? Like my mom and them, like
from the pew.
Yeah, they shit. My grandmother, be like, "Oh, thank you, may God bless you." Like, who you talk about? Reverend Ronnie Love talk, little stuff like that. Or my mom, like, she on my Facebook, but I don't even follow her. I don't follow her. She posted Bible quotes all day, whole time. She going straight to hell, right with me. You know what I mean? Like, I know you for real. Like, stuff like that. So it's like, but it's not something that you can put on them or whatever. This person that they praising and all of that. Like, it's been brainwashed or whatever.
Listen, what they say right now, we live in the information age. If right now, if you accepting a lie, it's just because you want to at this point. You know what I'm saying? Because the information is out there.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel like it works to our advantage when we go to the military. When it's time to get out, that trauma. Because it's not relative to what the majority of psychologists and social workers are white. So anytime that we're telling our story and it doesn't align to what they feel, they need some medication or they got such a trauma and maybe so, but it didn't stop shit. We be whole successful mom. That's something that was put in a place that would break you, but it didn't break us because we've been fighting an uphill battle since how long? You know what I mean? Like
since day one.
It's just something to think about or whatever.
Yeah. But I mean, so here's the thing that especially when you talk about the military. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I did mine. 24 strong or whatever, and you did yours. But I can say for sure, if I knew at year 1 what I knew at year 17, I wouldn't have. That's not the decision I would have made. I would have took a completely different route. Am I going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that I had not and am not still benefiting greatly from that point in time? I am.
Oh, I am. I'm good.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I know if I would have known certain things, and the funny thing is, cats in the military is the ones who put me on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what you need to be, looking at, reading into this. You know what I'm saying? Blah blah blah. This that, and the other. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, but I mean, at this point in time, though, on the up and up, like my Muslim brothers say, we have enough knowledge amongst us to do for self. We definitely can do for self. I especially when I read about the boy in Alabama, Mississippi, one of them. He started a school by himself. He's 21 years old, and he started a school. On his own, and then the kids that go to that school, him and those kids raised enough money for them to get like school buses and all of this kind of. He did that in a year's time.
Oh, really?
In a year's time, Umar Johnson been asking people for money for 27 years. You know what I'm saying? And he got the building. He do have the building and all this other kind of stuff like that. But the school ain't open for business. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, like, if people got time to do this, if we got time to make this podcast, you know what I'm saying, share this information or whatever, then people who are in the area of Umar's school, they have the opportunity to volunteer some of their time to help that man get the joint off the ground. But we don't think holy.
Is get into, these government jobs or whatever. Like, it was a hiring freeze for a long time.
Right.
So now they've opened up and it's no longer they hiring. Getting these jobs, them grant writing jobs, and the things that we can do, the contracts, like I write statement of works and everything, for
right.
work,
define. But I mean, not just that. And people might hate me for saying it, but I'm gonna say it again. But nigga, become a cop. No. Be a cop. Hey, you know what I'm saying? There's some of y'all around here and you ain't doing nothing, but you smart enough. You smart enough to pass that test. You strong enough to pass the physical part. Be a cop. We need more of those. You know what I'm saying? We need more psychiatrists. There's some things out here that we need. Everybody ain't gonna be able to play ball, you know what I'm saying, in rap. We gotta do something else. And I don't mean just, you know what I'm saying? We gotta do something else.
I think it's gonna all start with or whatever, but it's like ways that we can little sectors that we can break into that'll kind of allow us to streamline the process.
Right. And not just that, but for some people to get the information and be able to pass that on to the rest of us to say, hey, look, that ain't we've been thinking this and that's not it. It's all wrong. You know what I'm saying? What's really going on is A, B, and C. Hey, check this out here. You seen the gymnastics team for the United States of America?
All them black girls.
All black girls.
Yep.
Now, what did that same team look like in 1980? All white girls. You know what I'm saying? Hey, when we make up our mind that we're gonna be a part of something, that's exactly what's gonna happen. We slowly become the best. Simone Biles is literally the GOAT gymnast. You know what I'm saying?
Looking at it from the other side, we can sit here on this Black-owned podcast and push our agenda and looking at it from our side, but until we just like we're trying to force these demands onto the white people to look at stuff from ours, and we owe this and that. Sometimes we gotta switch to put ourselves in their shoes, and not saying that will give us a greater understanding why they don't want to hear it.
I mean, I could, bruh, if you've been sitting here and every time you go to the table, you get 90% of the food. That's just this is the way it's been forever.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, one day you come to the table and they like, yo, you got to give up. You can only get 50% of the food now. I'm not gonna be like, what? 50% of the why? It's gonna be a problem. Why do I only have to get 50% of the food when I've been getting 90 the whole time? You know what I'm saying? So I can feel it from that perspective. You know what I'm saying? That whenever you the best, or whenever you know what I'm saying, you're the benefactor of everything, blah blah blah. Now we asking you to share in those benefits. Nah, you know what I'm saying? Somebody might not be with that.
For example, when I checked onto the Truman, right? They sent me. I went to S6. I was in first class, and it was like a whole bunch of black boys in there.
Mm-hmm.
Unruly. They was big too. Midwest. You know how the LSs and the AOs be. They deep on that bit, right?
Yeah.
So our supply officer, the S6 officer and all that, they were white. The lieutenant, the ensign that came in, he was white. And they couldn't do nothing with him.
Mm-hmm.
But it took me and this chick named Braswell. We checked in or whatever, and when we went on deployment, put our foot down. Sometimes we just need a little guidance. When I tell y'all, like every last one of the sailors that was eligible, the black ones, that was eligible for promotion, them 2 weeks when we was going across that sea, we had our foot on their necks. When the results came out, our TAD people and everybody that worked for me made rank. Every single one of them. That kind of stuff right there shows us, and it strengthened numbers. And so they recognized that. So, because anytime it was time to discipline a big black man, guess who they came to get?
Facts.
Me. And I'm 5'2.5". Like I'm 150. Like boys little. But I was like, y'all put y'all pants on the same way. You feel away, go get them.
Mm-hmm.
I just,
I mean, there are so many people that can tell that same story because I know, saying I can, but you know why? It's because we speak the same language. You know what I'm saying? We speak the same language. Other people don't, you know what I'm saying? They not going, because you know what you can talk.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Hey, come here. Let me holler at you. You know what I'm saying? You get them over in the corner. You be like, hey, nigga, you know what I'm talking about? I'll beat them. Chill out. You know what I'm saying? But and the stuff that we say to them, if it was somebody else, they would lose their damn mind. But they know that where we coming from with it. They know that, you know what I'm saying? When your mama said, be like, hey, boy, what the hell you doing? I will knock your head. They know my mama love me though. And then here you come with the same thing. Hey, what you doing? You know, oh, okay, you know what I'm saying? But he it's like they understand where we coming from, that we coming from a place of concern, you know what I'm saying? And it's just a fact, you know what I'm saying? Like I try to tell people all the time. And I've been there. And even when it was and mine was a female. But I would never forget her name was SK2 Teller. They was like, hey man, we need you to come talk to her because we can't get her, you know what I'm talking about. They moved me from one division to her division, you know what I'm saying, the S1. And and I just be straight with people. Hey, let me holler at you. And so I'm up here because evidently you a problem. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna tell you, you know what I'm talking about, like, I don't care what nobody else say, but chill out. We're gonna get up here, we're gonna make these cookies, and we're gonna get this money. That's what we're gonna do, you know what I'm saying, up here, blah, blah, blah. And I never had a problem.
But you gotta think about it too. The military make you take leadership courses.
Yeah, facts.
They teach you how to create a team that's successful.
Right. Let me ask you a question though. Do you do that by the book, or you put your spin on it?
I'm not talking about me. I'm talking in general. Yeah, like I do what I gotta do. I treat everybody saying but now I put my foot. It's your delivery. I can say Trey, go sit your motherfucking ass down, or you play too fucking much, or whatever, and then I can say, oh my God, Tyler, you're hilarious. Being the same fucking way, I can put the mask on and I can flip it off, but that came with everybody don't have that leadership dynamic though.
Right.
Everybody not a leader.
But I mean that also come from being around the way though. You know what I'm saying? You come from somewhere else, you don't necessarily speak that language, even if you black. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta know where these boys coming from, and you probably know the moment you laid your eyes on them, like, oh, I know niggas like him around the way.
Who was standoffish, and then I was a cute little black girl, so they had the little crush on me. I had my little, a little power, that's so inclined. But these leaders or whatever, these officers and stuff, that they go to offer their candidate school and stuff to identify that stuff, to kind of put a buffer in between them and kind of still meet the mission. And anytime. Right. And us as a black, we need to do that. And like I keep saying, churches that y'all keep giving all your goddamn money to, then they just gonna throw up a revival or have a vacation Bible school for your kids. Y'all need to get them in line. Make them say the truth. Why the fuck is you going to church and praising and catching the Holy Ghost and there's a white man on the goddamn wall? When my mom and my grandmother and them make sense to me, I got it. But until then,
like old boy said on like old boy said on Do the Right Thing. Hey, why ain't no brothers on the wall, Sal?
So y'all
why ain't no brothers on the walls?
Yeah, you go, even if you go over there, and a lot of this stuff it's unlearned, or it's so when I was over where we went to go do the we had where Jesus got baptized, and you can go to Petra. I just was fortunate enough to do both or whatever, but they went, all of them went, because that's what Indiana Jones and the Invisible Bridge and all that stuff, that was dope. So that's what they wanted to do. You know, the stuff that was gonna make them question everything that they've been taught. They weren't, they weren't trying to hear that shit.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Whenever, especially when it comes to something as sensitive as religion, you know what I'm saying? And the funny thing about it, I tell people all the time, is that 95% of Christians have never read the Bible. They just go off of whatever, the pastor say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Them same 3 or 4 sermons he been giving for the last 20 years. You know what I'm saying? They know them same, whole sermons by heart, because he been just recycling the same ones for 30 years. You know what I'm saying? But if they read the Bible for themselves, and it would make them ask questions, because a lot of the stuff that's being said, he'd be like, what? Like, that ain't even what this say.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's not even what the Bible says. Like, that ain't even.
That's just like the building fund. Motherfucker did.
Oh, Lord have mercy. It had
the water be leaking in the same place for 10 years. But
they had the building fund since we first got here.
they tired this man, and he driving the motherfucking new Cadillac, and they gotta send the van to pick you up so you can come to church and pay him.
Hey, he ride that Cadillac right past you after church while you sitting at the bus stop.
While you sitting at the bus stop,
beep his horn out there.
And the AC went off slow. Just slow.
Hit you with the deuce.
Yeah.
Right to Sister Bertha.
Yeah.
Right to Sister Bertha.
Then
but it's gotta be, here go a better question though. Here go a better question. At what point we gonna take responsibility for ourselves?
You got a Snickers. You hungry?
Oh my God! You know what I'm talking about? I mean, at some point, you gotta turn that mirror on yourself and be like, look, you know what I mean? I could do this thing myself. You know what I'm saying? If a half black man can make it in the office, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I could do something similar.
Yeah, but my thing is, we waiting for some reparations that the people who you want them for don't feel like they owe, and you talking about something, right. Take it to court or whatever. That justice system ain't for us. So you think they gonna rule and give you some money for some dead people? They can't spend it. You know, that's just like that Stop Asian Hate bill they passed. How long we been trying to get a Black Lives Matter bill?
Okay.
These
mothers had 2 bad weeks. And they got a whole bill written.
And they got a whole fucking bill. You know, some COVID, they got, because they was calling it the Chinese disease, and that created some stuff. And then they try. I was watching Black Ink, right, and some other stuff. Like I watched the ratchet shit, Housewives of Atlanta and stuff, right?
Right.
So on Black Ink, they was talking to Bay, like, you can tell this shit scripted. Like they was all concerned about this Asian hate, and she was describing the stuff she went through, and then what did some girl in her building, and they all are acting like they sympathize. It's like, motherfucker, you deal with that your whole life, huh?
She Asian?
Yeah, her mama don't speak English and stuff. Her name Babe. She's on the one with the New York ones, the corny dudes.
Oh yeah, I don't even look at Black Ink.
Yeah, the one in Chicago, they lit, and they crew cuter.
Oh man, so I was looking at this thing with what is it called? The Shop with LeBron James. When they be in the barbershop talking or whatever.
Okay, I gotta see. You gotta put me on.
And so Seth Rogen is from Canada, and then they was talking about racism or whatever, and he said, you know what? One thing that I've only understood since coming to America that we never really had to deal with in Canada is racism. He was like, because it's in your face. Like there is definitely systemic racism that goes on, that whatever. But he was like, but in Canada, like, we don't really have to deal with that. He said, I was at a game, and before the game, the dude came over the PA system. It was like, just in case you don't know, this game is being played on indigenous grounds. So we want to have a moment of silence for those indigenous people whose land that we are on right now playing this game. or whatever. He was like, we acknowledge, you know what I'm saying, the wrongs and all this other kind of stuff like that. He was like, and that's not reparations. He was like, but at least we acknowledge it, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, here, they don't, you know what I'm saying? It's not even an acknowledged thing. It's like everybody's doing everything they can to duck it and get away from it.
Based on what was the fucking why was the US incorporated? Why was it established? Why did they leave? You know what, it wasn't, well, we were just a vessel to build it up to what they needed it to be. So right. And we did that, and then we were so smart. We started doing most of the goddamn inventions, like Alexander Graham Bell and all them. Like, just the little stuff that was just taken or whatever from us. Right. We further advanced it. I don't know who was uncle.
I mean, even in small stuff like somebody I think it probably was my wife. She was talking about Uncle Nearest. She didn't know that was a drink. She thought it was like a person or a show or something like that. So I said, well, Uncle Nearest is the what happened was they found out that Jack Daniels, the liquor, was not made by the white guy who, they've been thinking it was made by all of these years, but that he actually stole that recipe from a black man whose name was Uncle Nearest. So Jack Daniels, they actually acknowledge that, and they have a drink now that is called Jack Daniels Uncle Nearest. You know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah.
His name behind the white name.
No, it's not. It's his name is the prominent name, but it's just a Jack Daniels product.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? For that, even a little small stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, is we don't, anything to take the credit away is, and I think that's the reason why why there's such an uproar about this critical race theory. First of all, they are proposing it as a class. It doesn't even have a written curriculum. Right now, all it is exactly what it is, a theory. Like, we would like to introduce this as a part of curriculum, but no curriculum has been written for it. So everybody is so up in arms about.
They still gonna perpetuate a lie. They ain't finna tell them, oh, we came, we stole the women, we scalped the Indians, we gave them smallpox. We took over Spain, we fucked up the Spaniards and the Cortez right. And the Mayan Indians brought disease. Like, they ain't finna say that. And
actually, it's not even supposed to be about the history. It's supposed to be about the law and how it intersects with race and puts black people at a disadvantage, you know what I'm saying, because of the way that the laws are written.
So get this crazy. So I was watching the news. Of course, they had a black man talking about it or whatever, and they was talking about how traffic stops in Virginia Beach, that more white people were being stopped than black people, but the black people were more white people were giving warnings versus being arrested and giving tickets, right? So it was like a fact check thingy. So they had a black man come on there and give us the numbers and shit or whatever. Like, it's like this and this. First of all, we the fucking minority. So don't throw up some numbers like we talking about 50 blacks and 50 whites or whatever. Right. And that's what we, use these. What's the fuck is the ratio? What's the ratio to white to black, and break it down in percentage?
But that's just like the news channels.
Yeah,
first of all, the news is not even news anymore. What news is supposed to be is the presentation of facts. But now news is opinion based. And then they do stuff like this. We took a survey, Fox News survey, and this is what it's. But it's from people who watch Fox News. That's a certain demographic. And then we got this MSNC in CBN whatever survey. Yeah, but it's from most of the people that look at MSNBC. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying. So all of the numbers are skewed, and they do that on purpose to keep you confused, to keep you running around like a chicken with your head cut off, and then they don't even tell you the whole truth.
They put up numbers and they left out the percentages. So we could be like, oh, okay, who the fuck you trying to rock to sleep?
Yeah,
like we do analytics over here. Like
yeah, we know all about that.
Yeah, like this don't even make sense, but it was cute though. You know, now let me go turn to that motherfucking game because the Clippers wasn't beating it. But yeah, so I mean that's just that. Or I don't know. You see, I told you it's 55 minutes. Hey.
That's good, man. That's good. So you know what I'm talking about. That was good little conversation. You know what I'm saying, for us to talk about. We're gonna actually get on here so he can tell us that we the Israelites. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Today.
He here today. You know what I'm talking about? He probably would have blew this phone up.
Yes.
If he was. So yeah, man, we hope y'all enjoy, you know what I'm saying, the show today. Again, you know what I mean, we apologize for the late notice last week. About letting y'all know that we had to cancel that show, but you know, life is real. You know what I'm talking about? So
and I'm gonna be in Miami next week, y'all. So
yeah, man, we might not get Peaches next week, man. I might have to hold it down dolo or call in some backup.
CMB.
You know we'll see though. You know what I'm talking about?
Be done.
You know, hey, but I'll be in, you know, I might be out that way in August though. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, July. I'm gonna be in Dallas in July.
Oh, word?
Yeah, my best friend. My best friend live there.
Oh, okay, yeah, definitely. You know,
gotta go see him.
You know what I'm saying? Toast it up. You know what I'm talking about? But until then, man, like I said, we appreciate y'all, man. Sitting down, kicking it with us. We hope we schooled y'all onto something today. You know what I'm talking about? Kaiser Sosa. Appreciate you, good sir. You know what I'm talking about? We'll holler at y'all, man. Peace.
One.
I don't hate, I motivate my people to elevate and rise above the fray to show God is great. Not blasphemous, but magnanimous, without any animus to show that they're fabulous. With a little bashfulness being the catalyst for adult learners to conquer calculus, mathematics, regression analysis. We